Alpha Team 1, come in. Alpha Team 1, do you read? Alpha Team 2, radio check. Alpha Team 2, do you read? Alpha Team 3, do you read? Sir, we've lost the city. This is an emergency broadcast by the British Broadcast Federation. We urge all residents, non-essential and essential personnel to maintain vigilance and to stay indoors whenever possible. Please do not leave your homes. The authorities are dealing with the situation at hand.
This is the 20th day since the dead came back to life. Well, not really life, but a pale imitation of it, which comes with an insatiable hunger for human flesh. I don't know why I've decided to start keeping a diary now, but I have. I think it's to do with Martin's death. He died this morning, probably from starvation. We're all pretty close, but he was first to go, and now there's only 7 of us. I always hated this place, yet now it looks like I'll spend what little is left of my miserable life here with the colleagues, despite so much. Martin was the only one I liked. Now he's gone. I feel lonely and abandoned. I knew we should have run right at the beginning, but within a day it was clear there were too many of them for the army or anyone else to deal with. But by then we were trapped. 8 of us in the warehouse. We'd be okay if the company we worked for sold the food, but it didn't. It sold stationery. We've tried going outside to search for supplies, but the dead are everywhere, and they always chase us back in before we get more than a few feet. We've seen from the upper windows what happens when the dead catch the living. It's not pretty, and none of us want to go that way. But still we need to find something to eat. Like Martin, we'll starve to death. But there's nothing to eat in here. I woke this morning to find the others discussing what to do next with Martin's body. We kept away from it at first, frightened he might come back, but he didn't. He just lay there, eyes sunken, cheeks hollow, his arms as thin as sticks. Steve was talking about starting a fire, and initially I thought he was suggesting we cremate Martin. Then I realized Steve was talking about cooking and eating him. The very thought of doing that makes my stomach churn with disgust. I can't believe he'd even suggest doing something so awful. Surely he can't be serious. For the first time since it happened, I had a bellyful. It makes me feel sick to think of what I've done. Steve was the only one who did it, who made Martin up into thin slices with a box cutter and cooked him on the fire, made up from reams of A4 paper that surrounded us. At first I didn't want to eat, but the smell of the cooking meat was too tantalizing. It smelled just like bacon, and my body couldn't resist. It wasn't like we killed him. I'm sure Martin would have wanted us all to survive. May 29th. I woke this morning to find Jimmy was dead. Steve told me he'd seen Reason and slit his throat in the bathroom. But something seems very wrong there. Jimmy was so against the idea last night. And I can't see what could have changed his mind. I was going to say something, but before I could, The smell of cooking flesh started to swirl around me. It made my mouth water, and all I could think about was how great it would taste in my mouth. When it was ready, I ate it greedily as the rest of them. I almost threw up. Somehow I managed to keep it down, though. Later, I went upstairs and looked out of the window. The dead are everywhere, stumbling and shuffling around. I think they must know we're in here because they are crowding tightly around the shuttered doors now, trying to force their way in. I was hoping I could see a way out, but I can't. There's just too many of them. I went into the office where I used to work. One of the administrators overseeing those on the warehouse floor. The phone lines are still down with no power. I've dared to find an old battery-powered radio, but the only thing I could find on it was static.
5th of July. I've just finished my last scrape of Steve. Now I want to eat again. My only choice is to go outside and face the dead. I didn't wait until the morning to draw lots because I knew Steve was going to rig it. Nor did I sleep. The night before, I realised I couldn't do this forever, and I need to act before he did. That was when I picked up the broken chair leg I brought down from my office earlier that day and smashed Steve's head in as he slept. Now I've eaten him. I'm all alone, and I realised I'm no better than the dead that are crowding around the doors outside. In fact, or maybe worse, they do it because they don't know any better, while I knew exactly what I was doing. I keep telling myself. I keep telling myself I only did what I did to survive. But there's a part of me that knew it would have been better to die. I'm going outside now. What happened to that little girl and that man? I need to find out. Where did they go?